Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon, ma'am.
Last period, we learned about the different processes, the four basic processes that influence population growth or that affect the size of the population. We also discussed about the two growth models, and one we dealt with in detail and the second one is remaining. So before we begin, tell me which are those four basic processes that influence population density. Malavika.
Natality, mortality, immigration, and immigration.
Okay. And one of you tell me the two growth models. Meenakshi, which are the two growth models that we discussed?
Natality and mortality.
Two growth models we discussed now. Which are they?
Natality and mortality.
Logistic and exponential growth models. And we started with exponential. And I think we completed that too. But once again, I will repeat that. Exponential growth, here we assume that all the resources are unlimited. Resources, food and space are essential for the uninterrupted growth of population. If resources are unlimited, when there are plenty of resources, and if resources is not, or the availability of the resources is not a limiting factor, then each species will show its full potential, full innate potential to grow in number and increases the population size. And as a result, the population will increase on an exponential rate or in geometric fashion. And here you can see the division of paramecium, and within 6 days you can see how huge is the increase. The number of organisms or the number of paramecia it has increased tremendously. And then we saw the different equations. We saw the equation for the same exponential growth curve. You even call it as a J-shaped curve, whereas the logistic growth is represented by sigmoid curve, J-shaped, as the the shape of the graph. It looks like J, and here you can see it slowly increases, and then there is a steep increase in the, you can see a steep increase in the population density as with the time or with the passage of time. And if population size is denoted by N, birth rate by B, death rate by D, then the increase in the population during a given period, T dn by dt can be represented as dn by dt is equal to b minus d into n. Children, I forgot to say that here we can see 2d. Hope you might be knowing, since you are learning maths, you might be knowing about it. This d is increasing, sorry, just a minute. Let me take a different color pen. This D indicates the death rate, whereas this D is given there to show the change. Dn, change in population size, dt, the change in time. But on the right hand side, the D is used for representing the death rate. So dn by dt, that is a change, increase or decrease in the population size, can be denoted as B minus D into N. And I told you B minus D, that can be replaced by the alphabet R, small letter R, and small letter R stands for the intrinsic rate of natural increase. And that can keep changing. It can be different for different species. For example, in your textbook, that of a flow beetle is given, for rats it is given, and similarly the intrinsic value of human population or the R value of human population in 1981 is also given. It might have changed drastically by 2020-21. Now we are living 21. So you need to find out, I told you next class you find out and come what is the present intrinsic rate or R value of population in India. B minus D, if it is represented by R, that is the intrinsic, innate rate of natural increase, then we can write the equation as dN by dt is equal to Rn. Okay? That we had completed the previous period. The R value is an important parameter for assessing the impacts of any biotic and abiotic factors on population growth. So based on the R value, depending upon the fluctuations in the R value, we'll come to know the impacts of biotic and abiotic factors on the population growth. You know that different biotic and abiotic factors, they can affect the increase in the population. So how much they are influencing the population growth, we can easily make out from the R value or intrinsic rate of natural increase. So R value will help us. So by observing, by understanding the R value, we can understand the role of different biotic and abiotic factors on population growth. The integral form of the exponential growth equation. So we can even represent it in the form, in the integral form, NT, population density at time t is equal to N0, that is population density at time 0, at the initial time, and then ERT, E is the base of natural logarithm, the value is, 2.71 or 2.72 approximately. And RT, R is the intrinsic rate of natural increase and T is time. So the same equation, exponential growth equation, can be represented in the integral form. So if the equation is asked, already we learned NT is equal to N0 ERT. So that is the integral form of what? Integral form of exponential growth equation. Exponential growth can be represented in the integral form, that is NT is equal to N0 E raised to RT, where NT is the population density. N stands for population density, NT is the population density at time t, and N0 at 0, and E is the base of natural logarithm, R is the intrinsic rate of natural increase, and T is time, and the value of E is 2.71828. Now next is about the logistic growth. What is the time for the winding up session, children? At what time this period gets over? Just a minute, I will check. The next growth model is logistic growth model. And there is no population in nature having unlimited resources for exponential growth. So that was an imaginary situation with unlimited resources. We can assume when the resources are limited, the increase can take place exponentially. But in reality, such situation or never the availability of resources or the resources are unlimited. It's always limited. Okay, and before we proceed to logistic growth, I just want to explain the story, tell that story which is mentioned in your textbook. Have you read that? King and minister playing chess. So in your textbook, page number 230, a story is given. A king and the minister, they were playing chess game. The king was quite confident. The king was quite confident about winning the game, and he agreed to, the minister was his opponent. So whatever he asked for, or if minister is winning the game, he was ready to give whatever he demanded. Hope you are following. King and the minister both were playing chess. So king thought that definitely he will only win. King will win because he was... maybe he was so good at chess, but at the same time he agreed that whatever minister wants, if he wins, he was ready to give whatever he wanted. And the demand of the minister was that if he won. So he said that if he is winning the game, he want only some wheat grains, just few he did not mention. He wanted only wheat grains, but there is a condition. And there are how many squares on a chessboard? 64 squares, no, on a chessboard. And he told that he need the quantity of grains which is equal to, like he will calculate it by placing one grain in square number 1. First square he will place, or just one grain is enough. And in the second square, double of what is there in the first one. So 2, 4, then in the next one 8, 16. Like that, it should be completed until it reaches 64 square. So for filling 64 squares of the chessboard, like that number, so once it reaches, once all the 64 squares are filled as per his demand, that much grains only he need. If he wins the game, or if he is going to win the game, he demanded, he wanted that. Did you understand what I said? Don't think about the space present to fill the grain. Just an assumption, 64 squares. So whatever is there in the previous square, that should be doubled for counting the number of grains in the next square. A king thought that only some wheat grains, no, it is no issue, not a big deal. So he readily agreed. And finally what happened? Unfortunately, the king lost the game and the minister won that game. And as per his demand, he had to give him the wheat grains. And he started placing the grains. So he started calculating, and finally what he found was the wheat produced in his entire kingdom was not enough to fill those 64 squares as per his demand. So why this example is mentioned is only 64 squares, and whatever the number present in the previous square has to be double. Think about amoeba, paramecium and all. When they carry out binary fission, isn't the same thing happening? One amoeba divides into two daughter cells. Those two daughter cells, they will form 4 daughter cells. Those 4 will form 8. And if this goes on, within 64 days, you can assume, you can imagine how many organisms will be formed. So just to make you understand what is meant by exponential rate or exponential growth rate. Okay, and if you want to know that number, and I had searched it out from net and I got the correct value, you want to know? You want to know the value? The number of grains? I will just, when I share the screen, I will write it on the board, okay? I don't know whether mistakes are there in this. You can check, but I got it. I was curious to know how many grains he required. So that I'll write, okay, anyways. Understood the story, no? This story is included just to make you understand how fast the population or the population size will increase if exponential rate is or exponential growth rate is taking place. But in reality, such a situation will not happen because there are always some limiting factors. The resources can never be limited like that. Okay. Let me continue, and as I promised, I will just write the number over here. And children, I'm not sure whether it is correct. 1. You may verify, okay? Just out of curiosity, I just checked. 18446. This is the number. So it is read like this: 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 billion, 709 million, 551,615. And this will spread over 1.4 trillion metric tons. Okay. So you might have understood what will happen if all the organism will carry out an exponential growth rate. Earth won't be there, like there won't be enough space. Within one day or within a few hours, the entire earth will get filled up. And I think not even seconds it will take, no? If all the organisms carry it out, carry exponential growth rate. Anyways, maybe only fraction of seconds will be enough for the earth to get filled up. But luckily that is not happening. Logistic growth curve. There is no population in nature having unlimited resources for exponential growth. That cannot be a reality because the resources can never be unlimited. And when resources are there will be competition for these limited resources. Resources are limited and there will be competition among the limited resources. So in that competition, as per Charles Darwin, the fittest ones will survive and they will continue to reproduce. And in a given habitat, there will be enough resources to support the maximum possible number. So in any habitat, you take the case of any habitat, there will be sufficient resources to support the maximum number. But beyond that, no growth will take place. So that is known as carrying capacity or K. It is represented by the alphabet K. So beyond that, no growth is possible as per logistic growth pattern. In the first case, we discussed about exponential growth model where the population keeps on increasing on an exponential rate. But as the resources are not limited, as the resources are limited, or nowhere you can find this unlimited resources, population actually will be growing in a logistic growth pattern. When the resources become limited, there will be competition among the organisms for the same. In that competition, only fittest one will survive. And those which are surviving, they will reproduce. And any habitat will have maximum resources, enough resources to support the maximum number. To support maximum possible number. So beyond that, no more growth is possible. So that maximum capacity, we call it as carrying capacity, and it is represented by the alphabet K. K stands for carrying capacity. What is meant by carrying capacity? The maximum possible number a given habitat can support. So beyond that, no more growth is possible because in fact the resources are limited, and when resources are limited, there arises a competition among the individuals. The fittest one will be able to get access to these resources. They will survive and reproduce. A population with limited resources shows different phases. See, here I told you it is represented by a sigmoid curve, a shaped curve. And here you can differentiate different phases. In the beginning, it proceeds slowly. In the beginning, it is proceeding slowly. You can see a lag phase proceeding slowly. The takeoff or slowly it is increasing. You call it as lag phase. Then you can see a steep increase. It is increasing. So you call it as acceleration phase. Then you can see it is slowly coming down. So that is deceleration phase. And finally, asymptote. Finally, you can see an asymptote. Asymptote is the line which graph appears to touch, but actually it will never cross that. So here K is given, carrying capacity, and this graph will not, that line will never touch, will not intersect. But here in the graph which is shown, you might think it is getting intersecting or it is crossing, but in reality, we might think it is going to touch, but it will not cross or intersect it. That is known as asymptote. So beyond that, I told no, and carrying capacity is the maximum possible growth or maximum growth which is possible, beyond which no more growth can take place. So it will not cross. That asymptote is a line which it appears to touch but will not. A population with limited resources, or else you can say in a logistic growth curve or in this S-shaped curve, you can see different phases. Lag phase, lagging. So in the beginning, it is proceeding very slowly. That is known as lag phase. The initial stages, it is taking place in the beginning, it's slowing down, it is slow process. But then you can see it quickly catches up and the rate is increasing sharply. But after some time, there is a deceleration phase where the rate is slightly declining and then it will reach a asymptote. Asymptote is a line that a graph will approach but they don't intersect. A line which the graph approaches but will not intersect, and here you can see the carrying capacity K. So it is not going beyond that. It is not intersecting or it is not going beyond that in the case of a sigmoid curve. Clear? K or carrying capacity is applicable to a logistic growth curve. So it is not going beyond that particular line. This type was suggested by Verlust-Pearl logistic growth, or this was suggested by Verlust and Pearl, and hence the name Verlust-Pearl logistic growth. So if it is asked, with the help of a graphical representation, explain Verlust-Pearl logistic growth pattern, then you should not get confused. It is same as logistic growth pattern or the sigmoid curve. So it is also known as Verlust-Pearl logistic growth, named after the scientist who described it or explained it. And the equation is dN by dt. As I told you, dN and dt is just to denote the changes in density, population density and time. It is represented as Rn. R the same. What is R? What is R? One of you say. Sharon, what is R?
Intrinsic rate of natural
Intrinsic rate of natural increase. And K is carrying capacity, N is again population density at time t. So the equation, see, two different equations. So you should not get confused. For the previous one, for exponential growth curve, the equation is dN by dt is equal to Rn, where dN and dt represents a change in population density and dt is a change in time. So as such, it denotes the change in population density over time, and R is the intrinsic rate of natural increase and N is the population size or population density, whereas in Verlust-Pearl logistic growth, dN by dt is equal to R N K minus N by K, where K is the carrying capacity. Remaining all alphabets you're familiar with. N is population density at time t, R is intrinsic rate of natural increase, K is carrying capacity. Since resources for growth for most of the animal populations are finite or limited, the logistic growth model is considered to be more realistic one. So once I had seen a question, which curve or which growth pattern is more realistic one in the present situation, explain and then explain the growth curve or explain both the growth patterns or compare both. And why it is considered to be realistic? Logistic growth curve is considered to be more realistic because in reality, majority of the animal, in most of the animal population, resources are not unlimited. They are limited. So availability of resources is a limiting factor. It influences the increase and decrease in the population size. This topic is very, very important. It can be asked as an essay along with the graph. Okay, have you understood these equations, the graphs, all that you should be thorough with. So once again, logistic growth curve, I'll repeat again. Even though we discussed about presence of unlimited resources in exponential growth model, in reality, such a condition will never exist. And this can lead to competition among the individuals. And in this competition, the fittest one will survive. They will reproduce and increase in number. And in nature, I said all the habitat, every habitat will be having sufficient resources. to support maximum number, not unlimited number of organisms. It can support a maximum number of organisms beyond which no more growth is possible. And that we call as carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the maximum number of organisms that a habitat can support. Beyond that, no more growth will take place. And then we learned that in a sigmoid curve or in logistic growth curve, there are different parts. You can distinguish different parts. The lag phase, that is a slow phase in the beginning. Then there is a rapid increase, which you call as acceleration phase. Then there is a decline, you call it as deceleration phase. And finally, an asymptote. Asymptote is a line that the graph approaches but will not cross or intersect. And this growth curve, we even call it as Wallace logistic growth pattern or growth curve. Then the equation is dN by dt is equal to Rn K minus N by K, where K is the carrying capacity, R is the intrinsic rate of natural increase, N is the population density at time T. And dN and dt, D is used to denote the change in time and density, population density. And the more realistic growth pattern is the logistic growth pattern and not the exponential, because in most of the animal populations, the resources are limited. Okay? Children, have you understood? No doubts now? So children, I have sent the link for your class test, MCQ, chapter was microbes in human welfare. So the link I have pasted in the chat box. So attempt it. You can take 10 minutes to complete the test. 20 questions. Okay? So quickly do it.
Ma'am,
3 options are there. Read it carefully and then answer. Rijas, Naureen, Donna, Michael, Anna, what happened? Everyone's video got turned off. When test is there, you sit with 2 devices. And Steffi, Naureen, Anna, and the same students are absent now also. Mehak is there? Mehak? Yes. Nidhi? Nidhi absent now? Yes. Lydia? Lydia is also absent. Lydia, Nidhi, Nia. Nia has left.
Ma'am, could you resend the link? I'm not getting.
Why, Lydia? You joined late?
Ma'am,
I'll send the link once again for everyone. Children, only 3 minutes more. Either I didn't check. I will check. I might have received. I haven't opened my account. Don't worry, it might have reached. Okay. Quickly submit it. Only 20 questions, no? Steffi, you're able to do it now? It's fine now?
Ma'am, I'm starting again from the link you sent.
Nia, it was an MCQ test. I didn't dictate any questions. I will send you the link again. Those who have completed can leave. It's time now. All those who have completed may leave. And only 1 more minute, children. You also finish it fast. Okay, you may send me. As soon as you finish, you send it. So we'll wind up. Thank you.